Morning everyone and welcome to my channel. So in front of me I've got my Rhaphidophora Decursiva, which has been putting out a runner. So today's video I thought I would look to pop it onto a moss pole. I've recently purchased these clear D-shaped poles from Temu, I believe these ones were. I have potted a couple of plants onto them already and actually found them really easy to put together. I do feel like there is probably a better way. Instead of stuffing the moss in, probably opening the backs, filling it with moss and then closing it up over the top might be an easier option. But yeah, I'm going to look to do it the way that I have done it for previous plants that I've popped onto the moss poles. For this one I think I am going to end up needing 2 for it. I'm not entirely sure whether or not to cut this runner off, to leave it on, give it a chance to root in and then chop it. I've heard that decursivas are notoriously difficult to propagate, so yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. I think for now I'm just going to leave the runner on and then see what happens. But yeah, before we do get started with that, if you're new here, hi, my name's Amy and this is my jungle. Don't forget to give the video a like if you do enjoy it and hit that subscribe button for more planty content. If you're not new here, thank you again for joining me. I really do appreciate having you here. I'm also going to apologise for the fact that I am in my Udi still. I've not been feeling very well, so I just wanted something that made me feel comfy and to do something that I enjoy to make me feel a little bit better about it. That's enough with that. So what I am going to look to do first, I think, is drop you guys down so you can see a bit better with regards to what I'm doing, and then I will likely unpot the Decursiva and lay it to one side. Actually no, I'm going to fill up one of the moss poles first and this way. Yeah, so I think I'm going to fill the moss poles up with moss first and then look to unpot the Decursiva. I am going to reuse this soil because it's not been potted in here for very long. There's no like pests or anything, and yeah, then look to repot it up with the moss poles. So I'm just using sphagnum moss from Grow Tropicals to fill up my moss poles. I'm going to start with the one that's going to be going in the bottom, so just pop that against here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I want moss to come from the 6th one up, and that's just so that the rest can be filled with soil when it comes to repotting the Decursiva. So it would be easier to do it this way round because then I haven't got to worry about any soil being stuck in the moss as I fill up the moss pole where I've been picking it up off of the potting mat. What kind of moss poles do you guys tend to prefer to use? I have got some that I made that are fully open, and while they're okay, they are ones that I have to constantly check and keep water in to keep them moist. I think it was 5. Was it 5? Yeah. And you know, that can be quite time consuming when you have got other bits that you need to do, you know, work, life in general. So yeah, I think I am looking at making the switch with all of my moss poles being the clear backed ones, just to make my life a little bit easier and my plant care a little bit less stress. So I can come down a little bit more. So. Also, when I put these moss poles together, sometimes I'm like, how much moss is enough moss? So I don't want it to be too dense for the roots, but also I don't want there to be huge amounts of gaps, so that again the airflow goes in and it dries it out too quickly. So yeah, that's the only bit about moss poles that I'm still a bit unsure of when I do come to putting them together. So this is the base one. I'm going to pop this to the side and leave a little bit of a gap there, and I'm going to go inside of that. In so that it at least overlapping by 2. I'm just going to pull out a little bit from the bottom, because that moss pole has pushed some of this moss lower down, so that should now be okay. I'm just going to continue filling up this moss pole. Unpop the Decursiva. Out. So I'll say, because this hasn't been in here for that long, I am going to look to reuse the potting mix that's in here. Side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the bottom end of this moss pole and I'm just going to, perfect, so try not to knock anything off of the coffee table. So I'll take and so the reason the Decursiva didn't go onto a moss pole when I first got it was just because I didn't have any made up or big enough. I knew I wanted to move the plants that were on moss poles onto the D-shaped ones. So I thought, oh well, I'll just wait and do it once I get that, and you know, life happened, didn't have the time to actually go in and do what I wanted, so I just kind of sat there and sat there and sat there, and then the runner happened, so that was sort of my push to be like, okay, maybe it's time. that we actually look at putting this together. Okay, so and a little bit of this into the bottom and just around the back. Use the stake that the cursor had down and round. Okay. So now a lot of people are probably screaming at me that I should have attached it to the moss pole first, but let's try and make sure some of these nodes are actually against the moss pole. And I did bring down some plant tape, which I can't remember where I put. Oh, it's right here in front of me. I'm just feeling exceptionally blind. Oh no. So this is what happens when you cut up your plant tape into many pieces. You end up having to break it off bit by bit to attach your plants to anything. So I think that one. Probably would have been a lot easier to do this without it being in the pot. But okay. I need to actually remember where I put stuff because I've just put the plant tape down again and I don't remember where I put it. It's probably rolled under the coffee table, to be perfectly fair. I've gone. Ah, so annoying. Okay, well I can't find where I've just put the plant tape I had in my hands. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start backfilling with this soil and hopefully it will turn up. If not, I'll go upstairs and get another roll of it and attach the plant with that.
I'm just trying to get any of these aerial roots so that they are touching the moss. We'll pop the plant tag back in. And I'll just move you guys so you can see how she looks. So I've got this runner here which is coming up and off of the moss pole. I don't really want to add a third one, so I don't know whether or not to just chop it or to leave it and see what happens with the moss pole, see if it encourages any more growth or anything before we do either propagate or lop it off. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how this is looking. So it's quite sturdy in the pot as well because I've put the soil around the back of it. I don't typically tend to move my plants by just the moss pole. I would like to point that out. I'm too nervous that they're going to just fall out and I'm going to get soil everywhere and damage my plants. But that is everything for today's video. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any tips for putting plants on moss poles, getting the moss in there, how much moss to put in, do let me know. But yeah, thank you again for sticking to the end of the video, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Once again, don't forget to like the video if you did enjoy the content and hit that subscribe button for more planty content. Bye.